Hello, I'm David and I'm here with Julie Andrews and her apple strudel. Some of her favorite things have inspired us to share with you some of our favorite things that are to do with health, hygiene, and dealing with some of the things that we have to during this time of coronavirus. So here's Dylana.
One of the first things we're going to talk about today are eggs. In many different forms we have eggs. Here we have chicken eggs that have been made into deviled eggs. And here we have a goose egg that we've been dividing up over several days to make egg drop soup, for instance, or omelets. Goose eggs are very, very good. They have a very large yolk. One of the things we're going to do with our deviled eggs, though, is we're going to put cayenne pepper on that, and we'll have David test that and make sure that that's okay for him. So David, test that. Make sure that that with the cayenne pepper. Cayenne pepper is very good for your health and for fevers and everything else. Now, the next thing that we do in the mornings is that we take NMN, not M&Ms, NMN. It's nicotinamide mononucleotide. So David, show them how we get our water for the NMN procedure.
We have our beautiful Berkey filter here, and actually if you were a Berkey mama, you would have a baby Berkey. This is the one we have in the basement where we're living right now. So here we just get a little bit of water.
And we keep the NMN in the freezer. It's a white powder we import actually from China, and then we have it independently tested when it arrives. And for the first few weeks, we accidentally were taking 10 times the dose, but we then got a little tiny scale, and so now we know how much to take. So the NMN is a little white powder. It's going to make us perhaps not live forever, but certainly hopefully be healthier. Oopsie, I just spilled some. Now, if you do spill it, just go ahead and lick it up, because you certainly don't want to waste this. It's very expensive, but very useful. So
you do need to take it with an oil and with resveratrol.
Yes,
cheers.
So here we go. Cheers. Make sure you get every last bit.
Now, I'm sure that many of you are aware that BHT is in very short supply, but this is something that we do during this time of coronavirus. And of course, vitamin C is very popular as well.
Yes, so if you feel any itchiness in your throat, we immediately take 5 grams of that vitamin C. Now, the other thing that you have to be very careful of is your entire load in your body of bacteria, viruses, and yeasts. So we're very, very conscious of what's happening on a metabolic level, dealing with all of those. And one of our magic solutions for any type of problem that has to do with a yeast overgrowth is DMSO and gentian violet. We'll talk about the Lugol's iodine in a moment. But we take gentian violet. What we do is, David, would you be our example today?
Well, I have this very interesting set of toenails. Now, my yoga teacher says that he thinks that I just like the purple, but the purple is actually medicinal. This is the gentian violet. And I take a little Q-tip and dip it into the gentian violet and then apply to each nail. Now, on top of that, I have to get another Q-tip and apply just a touch of DMSO, which is something that you should not play with internally. This is something that I just put on top of the gentian violet, and this gradually sinks in, and it deals with the yeast that, I know it's an unpopular subject, but I think a lot of people do have yeast. I may have contracted it from running barefoot in my barefoot shoes. One of my favorite things to do is to run on grass in my barefoot shoes. And I'm sure Dylana would like to share something.
Well, the other thing that we do to prevent yeast and also to keep your hands clean is make our own hand sanitizer. So what we do is we buy 3% hydrogen peroxide, which is very dangerous. As you can see, it has a big warning label on it. And we reduce it to about 30% and put a little spray bottle. It does sting a little bit when you use it, but it's very, very good as a hand sanitizer. So I highly recommend hydrogen peroxide for hand sanitizer.
Now, we do like everything purple. And sometimes, if the basement gets a little bit too loud, I always use these on the airplane when I'm traveling, or if Dylana has said, don't do that, do this, too many times, then I take the earplugs, which are a slim fit.
Yeah, he has very
interestingly.
delicate ear canals, and so we have to buy these special earplugs that are for slim ears. So if you have a delicate ear like David, you would definitely want to buy the slim fit for that.
What was that?
The slim fit.
Oh, slim fit. Gotcha. Okay.
Slim fit.
Sorry.
Now let's talk about mouth health. So we don't really believe in brushing your teeth. We've learned that recently. We believe in flossing, as you know. We are big proponents of flossing. But the other thing that we do love very much is a water pick. And a water pick can become very antibacterial if you put a few drops of Lugol's iodine in the water, and then that will take care of all the bacteria in your mouth.
Now, of course, it's very important to stay with the usual regimens. This is Dylana's favorite knife. And so I'm just going to cut up just a tiny bit of garlic.
I have to say it's my favorite knife.
I'm sorry,
not because,
don't do that. Do this.
All right, but it's not my favorite knife because it's a particularly great knife. It's the knives in my mom's house were terrible when we moved in, so I just bought this cheap knife, and it's a little bit better than everything else, but really what I want is a great knife. So now, just before we finish today, we're going to talk about one of our favorite games to play, and that is Chinese checkers. I don't have much to say about it.
This ginger. Chinese checkers is a great game to play with somebody who is not quite as smart as you. I've been trying to beat Dylana now this whole time. It's absolutely impossible. She is a master strategist. As you can tell, she has everything under control. We do love our coffee machine. This is all great. It tends to make a little bit of steam, and just to show everybody, we're staying in my brother-in-law's house. There are 5 of us, and our granddaughter, the baby, and there's generally a lot of hot air floating around, including steam, and a lot of it ends up on the ceiling. So at some point we're going to have to deal with this. Anyway, I'm sure Dylana will have something to say about that as she exercises. We were recently in Florida, and we found this fabulous machine on the street. And so this is another one of our favorite things. We love to just exercise a little bit as we're doing almost anything.
Well, thank you for joining us, and we'll have more favorite things next time.
Thanks so much. See you later.
Do this, not that.